We should switch sides because you hurt my neck this morning.
You can fucking.
I can't turn my neck to the right because of what you did to me this morning.
Well,
no, thank you. Joe Pyfer looked good yesterday, huh?
Oh my gosh.
Pyfer looking jacked.
You got to prepare for like your Joe Pyfer handshake, you know, knowing that your hand might get a hairline fracture just from a handshake.
Yesterday, what was it? The Navy or the Marines doing calisthenics up here?
Yeah,
Pretty
that
cool.
was a nice motivator. Yeah. Those Marine push-ups.
Oh yeah, yo, that was actually insane. Did you guys join the workout?
Yeah, I wanted to.
He almost interrupted the workout, but no, but Philadelphia is nice. It's been nice. We've been here early and been able to walk around downtown. Right, downtown Philly is great, I think.
I say Pittsburgh is America's most underrated city that I've been to. But last time we did a show in Philly was 2019.
We can cross over here.
It was Justin Gaethje, Edson Barboza, and we stayed in Delaware. So this is the first time I've experienced like downtown Philadelphia. Rittenhouse Square where we are is fucking beautiful. So today, see, in a perfect world, normally my Friday, right, would be, I would be at the host hotel, I would be emceeing the weigh-ins, right? But today I'm filling in on the morning weigh-in show this way. Yep. So we are having an eating contest this morning. So we're at least all gonna try to see who can eat a pretzel the fastest, a soft pretzel. We will be able to use water. And then we will have, they call it a cheese steak here in Massachusetts. We call it a fucking steak and cheese, you know? So Pfeiffer's like, what'd you call that?
So be careful with the pretzel, right? You know, not to get morbid on you, but like, you know. Like
yeah, you could choke.
Yeah. You
I'm
don't
not
want me
gonna
to say, you don't want me to go any further.
I'm not gonna
I won't
choke.
talk about the girl at a collegiate hot dog eating contest from a few years back.
But yeah, then we're gonna, I think, do a cheese steak eating contest to see who can eat it the fastest. And then I believe later today, time permitting, we all are gonna go to Angelo's, which is supposedly the best cheese steak.
But gee, the reason I asked you about the cheese is like, I wouldn't put Cheese Whiz on anything. I wouldn't eat Cheese Whiz. John doesn't eat cheese much because he's lactose intolerant, so he probably goes no cheese. But everyone's telling me like Cooper Sharp. Someone's saying Cooper Sharp. I'm like, is that American cheese or is that cheddar cheese? Because American cheese isn't even cheese in real life. So I think you go like a Sharp provolone, you know, but what they say here, it's like they say like Whiz Wit, right? That means like with Cheese Whiz. Like I guess if you, and when a Philadelphia person says that, it makes me want to throw up in my mouth, even without tasting the cheese, right?
Yeah.
Just hearing like the whiz wit in that accent with respect. I love the city, but.
Yeah, even you imitating a Philadelphian saying whiz wit, or what is it? What is it?
Yeah.
Wit whiz? Get the fuck out of here.
No, yeah, maybe it's better wit.
Wit whiz?
I thought it was.
How about if you say wit whiz again, I'll pull your shirt over your head and fucking punch you in the face, you know?
Let's go this way, sorry. I'm gonna be in real trouble if I don't execute the walk back perfectly.
But see,
right?
I believe that Massachusetts has some great steak and cheese subs, you know? I'm sure there are tremendous cheesesteaks all over Philadelphia, right? But I feel like at least with the Philadelphia people, whom largely we love, but when you say, oh, what about Pat's? They're like, nah, no. And then you're like, oh, how Joe Gino's that? No.
Right.
You know, go to fucking Wes's on fucking Cumberland. And it's like, no. What about Angelo's? Yeah, that's pretty good. A lot of people, a little bit commercialized.
Well,
now.
so,
Like, all right.
No, that might make sense. But so Angelo's came recommended to me from a guy who's originally from Rhode Island and a Canadian guy. So.
And Lene Breckenridge, our UFC VP.
All right, so now
PR,
it's 3.
Was there yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, so. Yeah. So.
I think it's cash only. Is that okay with you?
Oh, am I paying?
Well, if it's cash only, yes.
Yeah.
If it was on the card, then maybe, you know, well,
maybe you would
maybe
pay.
maybe the promotion would sponsor your cheesesteak. But you know, you see, Pyfer wants you to call it a cheesesteak, but you don't have cheese on it, so.
Well, I know Pfeiffer's a lot younger than me, but that's crazy that he would have never heard steak and cheese before.
Well, I mean, you know, it's Philadelphia.
Rocky Run, November 14th.
So you got a weigh-in show, rehearsal.
weigh-in show, then rehearsal, then hopefully Angelo's at some point in time, and then banging keys all night. We have an Ask Me Anything for the YouTube channel, I believe, later tonight. And yeah.
So are you gonna try not to curse on the weigh-in show? Because sometimes I feel like when you do your appearances, you don't try not to curse. You don't care.
Well, the weigh-in show is on YouTube, and
right.
we are allowed to cuss, but I can try to scale it back a little bit.
Well, no, the reason that I asked is because knowing that it's on YouTube and knowing that you have free reign, I would think your instinct would be to be a little free with it, right? Whereas sometimes you tell me, even though almost all my stuff is on YouTube, sometimes trying to refrain, even though it's part of our, vernacular.
Well, oftentimes they're like drinking on that show, and once I start drinking, all bets.
Oh,
off,
you're drinking too?
Well, I don't know. I haven't shown up yet, but
we should switch sides because you hurt my neck this morning.
You can fucking.
I can't turn my neck to the right because of what you did to me this morning.
Well,
no, thank you. So it's better for me to be on this. I can't turn to. I got my boy Giuseppe over there, but I can't even look at him now. So I'll just turn to.
Well, the over/under of you interrupting me on this walk and talk was 5.5, and you're at 4.
Well, sometimes you're not saying much, You're
at 4.
You're like Rocky Walk. So I cut in with something more
I was going to actually talk about the fact that I might have a chance to run my first marathon in November, New York City Marathon.
Well,
better get training, huh?
Is the qualifying not as difficult as Boston? Boston, you have to be able to run all your miles sub 8 minutes. Maybe you could do that.
26 miles, sub 8 minutes? What do you mean? To get a number?
To qualify for, you
even
might
if
be
you're
able
a
to
public figure?
Well, maybe, no, you actually probably could as a public figure, but otherwise, no,
No, I believe the UFC Foundation, in honor of the late Thomas Gerbasi, is getting a few people numbers. I haven't reached out to my beloved colleague Mackenzie yet, but no, I don't know. But the Rocky Run made me think of it, that at some point we should do a marathon.
Got a bug on your head. Yeah, Thanks. It's like rich people shit, right? It's like, right? It's like, right? Rich people get everything for free, right? Everything famous. Like those civilians have to qualify for the marathon, right? But if you're somewhat of a public figure, now we'll give you a number. Unbelievable.
First of all, right? I'm not rich, If I was rich,
you get it. It's a figure of speech.
If I was rich, I would have a different person on my arm than your fucking ass right now, right? How's your neck? How's your neck?
I wonder who would be on your arm right now if you were as rich as you want to be.
Well, I think maybe I would be on a golf course or.
So who would be on the golf course with you?
You would be my number one choice to play golf with. No, I guess I was not.
But not to walk the streets of Philadelphia.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I do think it would be an amazing life accomplishment, no matter your socioeconomic status, to run a marathon at some point in time. But we'll see. But sorry about your neck. But no, we were running to the Rocky Steps, and you were in Hayes John mode, and you're just every time I'm trying to cross the street, you're giving me a hard time. And finally, I grabbed you by the sweatshirt in a moment of rage, and I apologized profusely before we got to our guys.
Yeah, and the nice lady driving to work at 5:56 is like, what is that?
And if the nice lady heard you verbally assault and de-skin me the whole way to the Rocky Steps.
I'm glad there's a camera on me. So my assaulting him was like, go right there, honey, right? Oh, take a left here. Watch out. We got to stop at the red light. That's assault. There's a lot of things that I've been saying to Jon off camera this week. I save some of my stuff for off camera, right? Because, most of the time I'm calling him a bitch.
Well, right.
Because he is a bitch.
I've never called him.
And my wife doesn't like the word bitch. I would never call women bitches, right? But Jon's kind of a bitch.
Yeah, and thank you. You just, pardon the interruption, but you did just go sailing over with your 6th interruption of the walk. Unrelatedly, yeah, you call me a bitch all the time. I've never called you a bitch. But so sometimes when we're on camera, the audience feels as though maybe I'm being mean and bullying my little brother, yet when the cameras aren't rolling, you're just firing away trying to cut me. No, it's comedy, right? Just trying to cut me down. Call me a world-class bitch or trying to make me laugh, But I think we all know if there was relative bitchiness on a scale and categories, you would lead the league.
And the reason I'm interrupting is just because it's, right? You could have stopped about 12 seconds earlier. But so I don't snore, okay? And Jon doesn't snore either. But last night, he's picking a fight when we're going to sleep last night, basically telling me like, if I snore, like he'll fucking kill me, right? He's like,
I will.
I'll fucking strangle you if you snore. I'm like, did I snore last night? He's like, no. I'm like, do I snore? He's like, no, but
tonight's the night that we can't have any snoring because we're meeting our guys, Giuseppe and Matt, at 5:30 a.m. So we couldn't have snoring last night. We're just trying to get ahead of it.
So,
and you didn't snore.
Giuseppe and Matt aren't mic'd up, but I was wondering to myself, because they're young guys, right? I wonder how many mornings they've woken up this early, right? We're getting them up nice and early before the sun rises.
Well, this is truly, get it, fucking get it. So this, in terms of mentality and like a head clearing measure before I go into a day of television, even just to sweat a little bit like this, I think will give me the right mental foundation to go attack the day. Doesn't have to be a 5K, doesn't have to be a 10K, doesn't have to be some strenuous lift, just getting the body moving a little bit.
And I'm interrupting again, but so we got our guys from Canada coming down to be with us here, but it's like typical Americans aren't gonna move their body before something like this. They're gonna go get like a fat breakfast right when they wake up, right? Like even if they're not hungry, Americans are fascinating humans, right?
Can I have a frappuccino with 7 shots of cream?
And then like smash a breakfast sandwich and breakfast potatoes, whether or not your system is calling for it or not. You know, it's fascinating. America's fascinating.
So we do have a Canadian fighter trying to become the first Canadian woman to win a UFC title. Now, we will leave in the margins the fact that she has spent precious little time in the great nation of Canada since she was 7 years old, right? But no, she has felt such support from a nation that is so rabid about mixed martial arts that if you win an undisputed UFC title, you change your life, right? But if you are Canadian and you do it, it just changes things on such a profound level. If Mike Malott were able to become a UFC champion as a male fighter in that nation, he would be a massive superstar. I don't know what this win could do for Jillian in terms of like financial freedom, but she would be a massive star in that nation. And I always say the best part of this job is seeing a non-champion first title fight break through and become a champion for the first time, because it's just so life-changing. And that's obviously what's in front of Jillian and Ian Machado Garry this weekend. But I love Jillian. She has 14 UFC wins, right? 14 UFC wins, 20 UFC fights to get to a title fight. Now we'll see what she can do with it, you know?
So I know nobody cares about, I guess we can go, about individual sort of predictions for this fight or whatever. But
your
like
predictions?
Right.
Or?
No one really cares about my prediction. But when I say that I think Ian Garry's live, right? I absolutely am giving him a puncher's chance, and not just because it's MMA, but I do believe that, look, let me ask you this question before I even say what I'm going to say. How mentally unbreakable do you believe Islam Makhachev to be?
As mentally unbreakable as any fighter in the game, but there's more that goes into it over 25 minutes, you know? I feel like saying Machado Garry is a live dog and saying he has a puncher's chance are two very different statements.
Well, so I don't like the term live dog. I wouldn't use it. No, I didn't. I don't say live dog.
Oh, he's live.
I think he's live, meaning I think he's live to win the fight, not necessarily like a live underdog that I would bet on.
But
I think Ian Garry's takedown defense is outstanding, and I think his frame potentially could be a difficult frame for Machado Garry to take down. I'm not suggesting that he won't have any success with it, but I think potentially
for Islam to take down.
Excuse me. I think potentially Ian Garry can get this fight where he wants, and if he does, and some of the knees, legs land, I do think the potential to slightly frustrate Islam could be there. If Islam is truly that mentally unbreakable, then I do think through 25 minutes, Islam probably will find a way to get it where he wants. But, you know, you always say gun to your head. And if I had a gun to my head, it wouldn't be easy for me to answer Islam in this particular spot.
Well, I'm calling the fight, so I'm not going to go there. But being mentally unbreakable is just one small component to this fight, right?
Yep.
Islam Makhachev has fought one time in the UFC at 170 pounds against Jack Della Maddalena, and he talked about how he felt training at that weight, how he felt going through fight week at that weight, competing at that weight. So in theory, Islam Makhachev, who is still in his fighting prime, 34 years old, his best performance, his best individual performance is still ahead of him. That's a scary proposition for Ian Machado Garry. As great as Islam was against Jack Della Maddalena, you know, Ian isn't the knockout threat with the hands that Jack is, right? And when you start kicking, you know, you end up getting taken down.
You don't think Ian is the knockout threat with his hands that Jack is? Like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I agree with that.
Well, the record shows that Jack Della Maddalena is a knockout artist and Ian Machado Garry is not, you know.
Well,
it's
and I know
homework.
Well, but homework will tell you that Ian Machado Garry did take care of Carlos Prates in a way that Jack Della Maddalena most certainly didn't. In Perth, Australia, you know. Styles
Make fights.
Fair.
This is a totally different situation. I love Ian. I think largely he's gone about all his business the right way. You know, he's the only one who comes into the fighter meeting and sits on the table and quite literally holds court, you know, but he's so married to the game. He's put in all the right work. But when Islam Makhachev deadpans, you know, come to Dagestan 2 to 3 years and forget, right? There's actually a lot of truth in there that if you really are trying to make appreciable gains in that phase of the sport, then you kind of do need to leave your family for 3 years, right? And that's a gap that Machado Garry and other fighters are never going to close on the Dagestani wrestlers. They're just not.
So you don't have to answer this question, right? Certainly on the merits of his work, Ian deserves this opportunity without question, right? And this is probably a bad question to ask you, but you always will say, like, if you have to save a hamster's life, who do you send in there against Islam?
Carlos Prates.
So you would answer
the question?
Wow.
I would send Carlos Prates in there. I believe he is the foremost knockout artist in the division, and I just think over 25 minutes, because the sport favors strikers and every round begins on the feet, I think for Prates getting 5 chances to begin a round on a feet and potentially find the knockout button, I would probably send him in there. I might send Yaroslav Amosov in there, honestly, but Ian would be on the short list. I just think that if you were to find the worst matchup for Ian Machado Garry in the welterweight division, it's Islam Makhachev. Doesn't mean he can't win.
So I think Islam Makhachev could find a finish against Carlos Prates more quickly than he will be able to find a finish against Ian Garry. I think Ian Garry's in a great position to be able to survive Islam.
I just figured out what we're doing tonight. Other than prepping UFC 330, they got golf simulators right there. Oh, let's go.
Do you want to know why I'm not responding?
Why?
A lot of time. I mean, you're full of shit. Yeah, full of shit. He's going to be working. He's going to be working in his room.
5-iron golf tonight. Going to own you, you know?
Going to be working in our room, you know? We did have a nice meal this trip. Ate at Ruth's Chris. That was enjoyable. Nice steak. We'll take it.
Yeah, this guy talking about Sweet Green as if it's like 5-star Michelin chef.
So no, like, Sweet Green is a place we've eaten twice here.
It's a chain.
It's a chain that I'm not familiar with. I've enjoyed the food, right? So I'll say something like, oh, this Sweet Green place is really good. And John will tell me that it's a chain as if I've just like insulted all 3 of his children simultaneously, right? Like, it's a chain. Like, it was like, huh, I'm glad you like Sweet Green. Like, don't you have anything better to do in Philadelphia? Like, go find some, like, you know, hole in the wall.
Day one, as you're literally coming verbally about Sweet Green. I'm just letting it all go, right? And then day 2, it's like, man, you know, go work there.
Reorder.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just go tell them that it's...
So you want to get a coffee? We're getting close.
Morning. Sweet Green. No, I mean, I love me some Sweet Green, but, you know.
Which one of you two is better at golf?
Jay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What's your handicap?
Oh, I mean...
He played in high school, so he was like... He
no,
was
I mean,
better then than he is now because he played a lot.
I probably haven't picked up a golf club in a couple years, so my handicap is tough to say. But no, John hits it far, and
Not anymore.
But what I'm gonna say about pool and about golf, right? I don't drink a lot of alcohol in my life, but those two sports, right? If I'm drinking a little bit, it's enhanced. It's truly enhanced. Like if I play golf and I'm drinking a little bit, there's a
Swim
certain
lube.
compartment that it shuts off in my brain to where I'm not thinking as much. And those games I think are better without thought, at least for me.
But yeah, a lot of these fighters are getting into golf. Actually, Joe Rogan's considering getting into golf. I think his daughter and his wife are starting to play. But I think for Joe, it's like 5 hours out there. Well, I guess for him, it would be a private course, so it'd be half that time. But
Joe will bring like a kettlebell out there with him, you know?
But yes, we have had a great week in Philadelphia. I know we talked earlier about the lack of Philadelphia talent on this fight card. And I said to Joe Pyfer last night, when you get to that place in the division, he's top 5, it's not always that easy to find somebody on short notice, you know? And Joe has to manage the risk of fighting maybe a guy who's unranked, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, we got, you know, a couple of Pennsylvania-born guys on the main card. We got one Philly guy on the whole card, you know? Like, so hopefully we'll be back next year. How are you? Nice to see you. You good? Pleasure.
We found the best way not to get stopped is to have cameras with you. Oh, you think this is because someone cutting weight maybe? Let's go get a coffee. What's up, Jalen?
Morning.
Good luck, man. Good to see you, man.
Nice to see you. See you in a bit.
Yeah, you're like, looking good, man. Sorry, a little sweaty. Good to see you, buddy. Want a coffee? Yes? Okay.